Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hi Shireen, welcome back.
Welcome back to you too, and welcome everybody to HRTV, your favorite talk show about all things that are HR. So, first of all, I hope all of you are staying safe, and I don't know whether it's dry or wet because the weather last week has been crazy, isn't it? Anyway,
Yes,
forget about that. And Ajit, can you believe it? This is already the final episode of season 5.
exactly. Time flies, man. Can you imagine? But I have to say that we had a lot of fun in all our episodes.
We sure did. And you know what? Today's episode is something that is going to set the pace for 2026 because it's called Leadership for Growth in 2026. And it's meant for everybody because anyone who's going to be a leader or anyone who wants to be a leader or anyone who is already a leader, well, it is all for them. So it's all about getting you, me, and all of us ready for what's coming for next year.
Next
So
year.
with you, yeah, so it's like so exciting, isn't it? What an exciting and timely topic it is. So if you're tuning in for the first time, drop us a hi in the chat and tell us where you're joining in from. Yeah, we already see Nur Fatia in the chat. Hi, welcome. Let's make this last episode of the season an amazing one, shall we?
Yes, yes. For those tuning in for the first time, let's share a little bit about the show. We are hashtag HR Intervents, commonly known as hashtag HRTV. It's an online talk show presented by Compass Mind Asia, a renowned training provider.
Yeah. And if you are a HR or an L&D manager and you're planning to do your trainings, planning for your next year's trainings, or even a lot of you have already got the plans out and you need to engage somebody. So remember, just drop us your inquiries on our email at training@compassmind.com or just connect with me on LinkedIn, Shireen Kelly, which is on
Yes,
LinkedIn.
always
Mhm.
on LinkedIn. Okay,
Yeah.
in our previous episodes, we engage in discussions with HR experts covering wide range of topics related to HR, career development, succession planning, culture transformation, the future of work, and many, many, many more topics.
Yeah, there's loads and loads of it. This is season 5, so we've covered 5 years through. So there's lots of information, lots of library. So if you missed any of the past episodes and wondering where you can find them, well, check out my YouTube channel, Shireen Kelly, to watch them. The link is on the ticker below. But please don't go now. Go after the session.
After the show, yes. And if you're wondering whether you are in the right place, yes, you are. This show is for everyone and anyone, including HR managers, directors, C suite business owners, or even a job seeker. Trust me, you are for a treat. You are in for a treat. Okay, would you like to see? Sorry, my screen is suddenly my IT screen is shrinking. Shirley, oh my god. Okay, we need to see who's joining us today. So please drop us a hi. Please say where you're from, where you're tuning from, what you're doing. And I believe it's lunchtime. For those who are having lunch, do share with us what you are having. Okay, for those who don't know me, my name is Ajit. I am a HR practitioner for the past 25 over years in Malaysia. And with me, I have got Shireen today.
I'm Shireen Kelly, the Managing Director of Compass Mind Asia. We'd like to welcome all of you to HR Interventions Season 5, Episode 11. Yeah, hi everyone. Anisha Nabiha also says, last episode already. Yeah, that's how fast the year has flown, isn't it? Don't you feel that? Like, Before you know it, it's phew, gone. And hi, Audrey. Lovely having you here. Well, we're going
Hi,
to do
Lulu.
something different. Uh, are you ready to do something different today? Ajit, Kojit,
Yes, yes, yes.
I want
Uh,
the audience something different today. So to start the show today, because it's a very interactive show, on a scale to one from 1 to 10, how's your energy level today? If one being low and 10 being high, that will tell us what you are having for lunch. If it's nasi kanda, it'll be one because you'll be busy eating. If you're a 10, then I know you had sandwich, light and salads, which is light and easy. So anyway, that's
I'm at a
that's enough.
10, Shirin. I'm at a 10 today.
Me
Despite having
too.
a very bad toothache, despite not feeling so well in the morning, but yet I'm at 10 today. I'm yet at 10.
That's the spirit, man. That's the way we all should wake up every day feeling a 10 and continue the day with an energy level of 10. It's
Agreed.
so important to continue the day that way. So now, let me introduce our speaker for today because we have another amazing speaker. This speaker for today is someone whose career blends strategy, people, and also technology in a way that feels most effortless. So that's quite interesting, right? All the three areas blending together. He currently serves as the Employee Success Director at the Access Group's Kuala Lumpur Global Operations Center. His work spans across culture building, AI integration, talent development, and elevating employee experience that shapes how people grow and thrive in the modern organization. Starting in IT back in 2021, he spent over about 25 years building deep expertise across tech and HR, including 13 years in global HR leadership. His time at DHL Group IT Services Malaysia was especially impactful. That I don't know whether he will remember this, but that was the first time I actually met him. Uh, he actually led a group of HR for he led HR for a group of 1,800 employees and supported another 1,500 globally. That's a big magnitude of people, isn't it? Quite a big magnitude.
Yeah, yeah, huge.
Yeah. He scaled DHL IT operations in India from fewer than 100 employees to over 1,200 across 5 cities. So you see the boom he did. So you make sure you pay attention and have the energy level of 10. Then you will grasp everything he's going to say today. Guided by his philosophy of difficulties only make you do better, he champions proactive leadership, inclusive communication, servant leadership, and performance with integrity. So, together with me, please help me welcome with thumbs up and heart, Then Sik Wang. Yee-hee.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Oh, it's such a
Hi.
humbling introduction, Serene.
Welcome. I'm so happy to have you.
Happy to be here as well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sik Wang, for joining us. Welcome, welcome. We have some audience who had said hi. I've got Lisa, Audrey before that, and Anif. But we have Lisa tuning in to support you, support my bro. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for tuning in. Lisa is from BIM, Badan Iktihad Malaysia. A very good friend of mine. Then we have also some of Shireen as well. This is Lisa. Then we have Arina. Hi, HRTV. Okay, Nur Fatia, love. We love you back.
I love.
Okay, Sikwan, thank you again. Thank you again for joining us. And
My
it's a
pleasure.
pleasure to have a person like you with so much years of experience. And I'm sure today's episode is going to be magnificent. Okay, before we start on, we really want to get to know you a little bit, and understand you. Probably you want to share something about yourself, which the others may not know, something interesting, something that you do off your office time, or something hidden in you, to share with us today.
Sure. Again, thank Ajit and Serene for having me. Really a pleasure. I was a bit nervous when I heard that this is the last episode of season 5, right? I hope I'll do justice for the biggest closure for the season 5, right? A little bit about myself. What is a little bit myself? I mean, for the last few months has been fulfilling. Took a very brave uh, movement, right, from a very comfortable and great place to work, DHL, and take up the challenge to join Access because of the vision that Access are having. Me, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a, I'm a community helper, badminton player, Netflix watcher in my free time if I can find the free time, as well as I like hiking, which I need to improve now because I have less time for hiking. And married, I have two children, Constant and Francis. Very happy, which they are in teenagers age now, which I have to book their time for any discussion that I want with them. So,
Wow.
so exactly. So if I knock their room, they'll tell me that, hey, we have a meeting. Can you come back later? So it's like, ooh, okay.
Ooh.
So that's me. That's me and my family. But we all appreciate each other. We all love each other, of course. Yeah.
Okay, nice, nice. So you say you like hiking. Well, the
Yeah.
last spot you hiked at?
Oh no. I always the last 6 months none. I have to admit.
Okay.
Blame it on excess. No, but I because I live in the Puchong area, so I always go to Puchong in the morning, the Wawasan, just go up
Ah,
and down, and then go home on
nice.
7 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Okay, maybe I frame the question differently. From
Yeah.
all the hikes that you have done, which one that you really will remember, and you know which one was like the one of the very good ones in all
It,
your
it
hikes?
yeah, it would be I mean, long ago when I hike in Slovakia mountain Tatras during winter.
Oh,
Ah, nice, nice. During winter,
Yeah,
can you
because
still hike? Wasn't it slippery?
yes, it was from the bottom. It was between autumn to winter, and from the bottom is about 0 degree, and when we reach
Yeah.
up, it's about -15, -20.
Seriously?
Hmm.
Wow.
It was fun, but I was much younger at that time, so yeah.
Okay,
so
good,
did you
good,
have
good.
to wear the snow spiky
Yes,
shoe?
yes, all the
Oh,
appropriate
Yeah,
equipment.
yeah. Okay, okay.
yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Fun,
That's so
fun.
fun.
Never knew. You would have done that. I would never. When it's 19 degree, I sit in the house. I don't even go out. Minus 19 degree, I wouldn't go. No way, man.
Well, we were young, we thought we can do everything.
Yeah, yeah. Agreed, agreed, agreed. Good,
Yeah.
good, good memory. Good memory.
That's true.
Yeah.
Lisa says hi, Mr. Ten. For a moment just now, when my team said
Hi, Lisa.
it's your support my bro, I thought real bro. Then only it connected. Ten and Chong cannot connect lah. Not really lah. Says hi to me, meet you again. Welcome, Lisa. All right. Just a little bit of introduction before we start the show. Before we jump into the question proper, yeah, let's see the context of today. As we move into year 2026, I mean, we're already in December 4th. Wow, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Besides the year is changing so fast and moving so fast, leadership is also changing so fast. It's no longer just about managing tasks and leaders, but leaders now need the right tools, the right mindset, and influence to guide teams through constant change. Because change is the only constant thing in life, right? Today's topic, leadership for growth in 2026, highlights exactly that. We'll look at what are new leaders' needs, how managers can grow into stronger leaders, and how organizations can build a solid succession pipeline for the future. So, with that, are you ready, Sik Wang?
Yes.
So, let's dive into the discussion immediately. Go ahead.
Yes, we are all so excited. So, okay, before we move on, we want to understand a little bit about leadership mindset and skills for 2026. So, and I'm sure it will be different. It may not be 100% different, but there are going to be something
Yeah,
different, especially how AI is emerging now. So, with that,
exactly.
my first question: what top leadership tools and mindset must new leaders master to start to be relevant in 2026?
Sure. I think it's not just new leaders, right? I think it's for everyone, experienced or new leaders. If I remember last week when I read about the KPMG's 2025 CEO Outlook report, it says about 71% of leaders says AI is a top investment priority for 2026. So it was that for me, it triggers the answer to the questions that every leaders, I think everyone, is not just leaders and especially leaders, must embrace AI literacy and digital fluency. It does not matter what industry, what role, what functions that the leaders are working on, right? For me, it's a fundamental, foundational competencies that we need to have now, especially in Malaysia. If you look at Malaysia, Malaysia is quite good in terms of AI adoption. There's a lot of things that we still need to do, but I think we are growing very fast as well. And having the AI literacy and digital fluency for me is mandatory. Having said that, equally important because of the dynamic and change with the AI coming in, um, developing agility and adaptive thinking is also very important. Um, this means that slowly we need to move away from the rigid hierarchical decision making approach towards the more flexible iterative approach. Again, this came from a perspective that how AI contribute to the day-to-day work, how AI contribute to us as a leader in terms of making decisions. And if I can put the third focus, that would be emotional intelligence and leadership. I think that is the non-negotiable. Again, taking into considerations that all of us now, and especially in 2026, will need to embrace the change management of AI and impact our industries. I think I'm going to stop there for now. Does it make sense?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Ajit, I know you always have something to add on, but I like to say,
I was on mute. Sorry.
no, continue first. Then I don't cut out you.
I'm talking to myself. Oh my God, what's happening today?
You muted yourself.
I muted and I'm like, yeah, okay. Oh God. Okay. Anyway, Sik Wang, what you mentioned is rightfully true. AI, digital fluency, machine language. These are all things that
Correct.
need to be the new tomorrow. I would say the new today, lah. So if you want to be
New
relevant,
today.
yeah, it's a new today. You really need all these things. But you, regardless whatever level leader you are, and of course, adaptability, agility is something that has been there. It will definitely be there, and it's going to
Correct.
be there. Yeah.
It's just going to be elevated. I think that's one of the main reason when some of the colleagues ask me why I'm moving from comfort in the AI as well. But the visions that Access are having is exactly what I mentioned, that we're embracing AI a lot. Every leaders in the organization must use AI. I think it's not about using it, it's more about the questions that we should ask. Can this task can this task, can we ask AI to do this task? That would be the first question that every leader should ask in the future.
Betul.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. But you were in DHL some time ago and already started AI at that time, huh?
Yes, we started AI journey in the HLIT service, I think about 4 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the pioneers in the market. Oh, well, you know what? I just noticed that we have more people joining us. So if you've just joined us, please say a hello to Sik Wang and Ajit, and of course myself in the chat box. And because this is a very interactive session, make sure you ask questions or give some comments. We would love to hear from you. All right, Ajit, over to you.
Okay. Sik Wang, next thing. What would be the biggest mindset shift a first-time manager needs when moving from doing their work to leading it? What would be? If I'm a first-time manager, what would
Yeah.
you advise me, or how would you guide me?
Okay. I can only share my personal experience. Yeah, it may not be applied because there got to be a lot of great leader out there that have their own input at West. But for me, one is the biggest learning for me, biggest mindset shift. Using your word, Ajit, is the shift from being the expert to being an enabler. So when we are an individual contributors, we always talk about doing a lot of things by ourselves, measured by our individual output. But I think as a leader, this requires the capability of letting go, being the most smartest person in the room, and shifting our mindset to create conditions where others can excel. It's a bit tough, honestly, in the context of Malaysia or maybe in Asia, because the hierarchical workplace culture is still there, right? The leader is expected to know everything. Yeah, sometimes we still fall into that trap. I think that would be the first. So, the expert to be enabler. The second critical mindset, based on my personal journey, is to move away from task completions to more to be people development, meaning spending more time building people, having investing more time in coaching, mentoring, developing the team member, rather than focusing on the solely on deliverables, right? I'm not saying that, hey, we give up the deliverables, because at the end of the day we're still accountable to make sure that the team delivers, but spending more time or invest more time for the people is the second critical mindset shift that I learned. And I think, if I remember as well, not sure when, I remember MIHRM did report that 76% or higher amount of percent that employees feels more engaged when they're recognized by the team, by the line manager. Of course, I think that is common, right? People like to be recognized, right? So spending that time more and building that safe environment is the mindset shift as well. And last but not least is also related to focus on tasks, shifting from just focusing on tasks to be thinking more of a long-term perspective. That would be the three learning that I get from my journey.
Agreed. I totally agree with you. Power. Being an expert, going to be an enabler. In other words, you need to have the power to influence.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
as a leader, you really need to have the power to influence. As a doer, as an expert, you just do. Now, as a leader, you need to influence. So the people do it for you, and you get better results. And
correct.
agree. No
That is
more task. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so true. Being an influence to influence right now, also you need to know how to influence the different age
Mm,
groups, because you got the different
mm,
generations joining the organization, right? Isn't it?
Agreed. And I like the part
true.
you mentioned that if task completion, no more task completion is I've done. If tick on a box, I've done my job. It's more of how many people have I developed, and how am I growing others around me in this process. I think that really defines leadership. Well said.
Mm,
And you are right. We do some service at MHRM, and there's one of it which glaringly stands out is about people being appreciated. They want to be appreciated. In any form. It can be just a pat on the back and whatever. And the percentage apparently is quite high. But unfortunately, when you look at more data, the managers are not complimenting. The appreciation doesn't come out so often.
mm.
So people want it, but it doesn't happen. So there's always this gap between these two. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I like.
I think that's why the question, come back to the question that you mentioned, right? The mindset shift, right? Because
Yeah.
first it will take time. Second, we just need to make sure that we understand that. Again, personally, based on my observations in the organization that I work with before and now, a lot of time we follow a lot of leaders are the high performers in individual contributors, right? So then, because they're highly perform, because we fall into a trap that sometimes high performance means becoming a leader, but it doesn't have to, right? Sometimes people can pursue a different path not to be the leader, but remain as the high performer in their current individual contributors. But a lot of that we saw in context of Malaysia, normally we which is good, we focus on internal mobility, internal improvement, internal promotions, but we fall into a trap that high performance equally future leader, which
Yeah.
is sometimes, from a humble opinion, is not direct correlations. Yeah.
Correct. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Like the saying, you can be a fantastic coach, but you probably was not a good player. When you were a
Yeah.
player, nobody probably knew you, but when you're a coach, everyone knows
Exactly.
you. Example like Alex Ferguson, Sir Alex Ferguson. He was a fantastic coach. The
So
whole
you're
world.
Manchester United guy.
Okay. Anyway, moving back, shouldn't it be like, okay, I need to stop it, stop it.
No, actually, I've got something for the audience actually, because it is lunchtime, and seriously, I see some of them joining. I saw Jasmine joining, so welcome, Jasmine. It is lunchtime, and so I'd like to thank you for spending this time with us. We definitely hope you guys will get a lot of insight and inspiration, because I'm definitely getting a lot from Sik Wang just on the second question that Ajit has asked, isn't it, Ajit?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on, from your experience, what is the biggest challenge a new leader would face today, and how can they overcome it?
Wow.
Maybe one biggest challenge.
One. I think it's a typical topic still. I think for the last few years we've been talking about this, and I still believe it's still a challenge, and that is managing complexity of hybrid work environment
Mm.
while maintaining the team cohesions and performance. That are somehow still becoming a day-to-day discussion in every forum that we met, right? As well as the typical leadership discussions. With the evolving, I mean, we pass pandemic. Habits created. I'm not going to talk about pandemic, but habits created, where we prove the world that we can work hybrid, right? But at the same time, we also believe that hybrid only is not sufficient, right? Because at the end of the day, we are a social creature, and we need the interactions, we need that influence, we need that community-based approach, right? The safe environment where we can then excel better, right? So, but I still see this is one of the a challenge, and from my opinion, how to overcome this challenge is that we need to we need to put an effort as a leader, whether we like it or not. We have to put additional effort to build that genuine relationship before we try to drive result. Right. So it has to come hand in hand, because we can't always come from a perspective that result, for me, result is a given, but how we achieve the result is very important, and they have to come from the building genuine relations. Many of young leaders or leaders in general somehow miss this and become a little bit more challenging for them in managing this. And even for myself, when you ask the questions about "Hey, what is the hybrid arrangement 3+2," it sounds brilliant, right? I think that's the common approach. In my previous company, we also apply 3+2 for leaders and 2+3 for individual contributors. So individual contributors can stay longer wherever they work. But for leaders, we see the importance of that active leadership focus. Here we apply the same for everyone. It's 3 days in office and 2 days at home. But still, a lot of our colleagues, a lot of our leaders facing a challenge to ask people to come back, while at the same time making sure that we create that psychologically safe environment to make sure that we drive results. Yeah.
Agree. I think what you said is perfectly right. It's about and it's about how you grow a very constructive relationship. That really matters. If you have that relationship, as a leader, you can be new, or you can be old, or you can be young, or you can be super matured or whatever.
Yeah.
If you have the relationship and people have already built, people know that they can trust you. I think then things get a little bit easier. So yeah, I think
Right.
managers.
And Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. I was just crossed my mind that we also have to be uh, open from a perspective that it's not just leaders that always have to give to the team members.
Yeah.
We as a leaders should also actively open when we face challenges, right? That vulnerability is important in building trust, and we should be open as well. We don't need to be the superhero. We don't need to be the super boss or manager or line manager, but we should be open enough to share our vulnerability, to seek mentorship. We can build the support network together with the team, so that will help to bridge their challenges. At least that's what I'm applying so far.
Agreed, agreed, agreed.
That's
Very
great.
good.
Yeah, that's great insights. In fact, both of you brought the importance of relationship that really builds trust, right?
Yeah.
So that moves us into our next key topic, which is going to be
Mhm.
building effective leadership relationship. How you build your relationship with your staff. So Sik Kwang, I have a question for you. How can new managers balance managing performance with building trust and rapport?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think again, personal view. I think the key is to avoid or to understand that trust and rapport or performance, right, are not competing priorities. It should not be seen as I have to build trust and then separately have to build rapport. I think it has to be interdependent, right? And we can start by establishing a clear expectation from day one. And in my experience, again, in the culture of being an Asian, we also paise, right? In Malaysia, right? We call it paise, right? So I saw a lot of leaders or young leaders, new managers, often avoid difficult conversations about performance standards because they want to be like, they don't want to be the tough leaders, right? But however, from my humble opinion, ambiguity creates anxiety, and by being transparent about what is expected, what is success looks like, what we want to achieve, how performance will be measured, it's actually building trust. Because non-clarity, I mean, especially if we read the report, all the Gen Z now seeking purpose more than remunerations, seeking more clarity rather than all the benefits, right? So that would fit nicely if we see trust and performance as interdependence, right? So that is also mean that we have to spend more time to create a culture of regular feedback, right? A regular check-in with the team. In Access, we actually doing it every month to have a check-in, and performance evaluation will be every 3 months. So there's a continuous discussions about what's good, what can be improved on regular basis. And I believe that frequent check-in will help everyone aligned and at the same time engaged, working towards the same common goal for the success. I hope that that can help the new manager in finding that balance, right? Because for me, I'm a bit skeptical using the word balance, because balance means it's like 50-50. You have to be balanced, right? And it's very difficult to find such incredible perfect world. It's always be sometimes about building trust, right? Sometimes it's about building rapport. It's about finding both, integrating both instead of finding that balance.
Agreed, agreed.
Mm.
That's very, very, very true. Yeah. Sometimes we just got to put that,
Mm.
sometimes that rapport building as something more like when you are having an engagement time, or,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
see the real you, the true you,
Yeah,
and you see through them. Yeah. So sometimes when you're having a difficult conversation, they don't take it personally. Instead, they
yeah.
know this is meant for their good,
and
right?
I agree with what Sik Wang said. It's it can never be balanced because everybody is at a different stage. So when a
Exactly.
person is at a different stage, maybe with candidate A, you may want to build trust. You may spend more time building trust and then focusing lesser on performance
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that would be the priority. But when someone
yeah.
is someone is already on your in a zone where they trust you, then you should probably do lesser efforts on that and more efforts on your performance. So you're right.
Correct.
There's never a
Correct.
balance. There's
Yeah,
never a balance.
I remember one scenario. Again, personal. Didn't request DHL approval, but my former employer. I remember when I have the privilege to work in Europe, and we have this one huge transformation project that I was asked to help, and there's one of the customer that no one willing to work with the person because everybody said that he was very nasty. So again, finding that balance between building trust and the rapport, right? And at that time, I was pulled in to ask for help, and then I went to the discussions. And I remember what I did. The colleagues the person is from South Africa, and at that time it was a cricket World Cup event. I can't remember the year. It was like maybe 2019, 2018, and then I took a lot more time. So talking about balance, I took a lot more time on building the trust from a perspective that I learned how to. I read everything about cricket, even though I don't play cricket. And just to start that discussion, there's an element of stakeholder management as well. Building trust means building through consistency and authenticity, right? So I went to the person talking about with one questions when no one wants to talk to him. I asked, "Will South Africa win the cricket World Cup?" And he looked at me, and then he looked at me. Hey, you're from Asia, or I'm from Indonesia, by the way. So you're from Indonesia. Indonesia doesn't play cricket. What do you know about the cricket world, right? And then I sit with him over the lunch, and I told him everything that I read about cricket. That's balance out the building report, and then we become a good friend, and sort of good friend professionally, and it's moved on the project after that. Just because I asked that one question, will South Africa win the World Cup? And they didn't win, by the way. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember. They didn't win.
Well, that didn't matter, but at least
Yeah.
you started the conversation and you
Yeah.
won that rapport and relationship with him.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
I love it how you give your personal experiences, which is really teaching the audiences something new. How you can approach people differently. We have some new people.
Yeah, joining us today, saying hi. So we have Jasmine saying good, and we have Nas saying hi. We have Hans saying hello, Shireen.
Why only Sharina?
Mhm.
Okay,
I wonder.
Hi, Hans.
Opposite attracts.
I'm always the rose. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway, Sik Wang, what role
Hmm.
does internal and external networking play in leadership growth today? I mean, we were talking a little bit about networking
Ooh.
just before we started, right? So, what role does internal and external networking play?
Ooh. I think it's a little bit more common sense here, right? Especially in the context of Malaysia, because we're in Malaysia. In Malaysia, relationship and hierarchical matters, right? And I believe for internal networking is very important in my own word, is to get things done sometimes. So internal networking, I mean, I always request my colleagues not to sit on their table, but to have at least a discussion or building internal network. You'll never know how other people in the future can help you internally, right? Apart from that, we have process, we have to be compliance, and everybody's busy. But again, relationships helps, and that does not need any research to tell us that. What I normally do previously is that when I feel tired at work, I think everybody feels that. Well, once a while, you just sit on your table and they say, "Okay, I can't think anymore. I'm just tired." What I did normally, I went to the pantry and I take the coffee or tea, and I walk around the building, and I'll just speak to whoever that I haven't speak with. Because sometimes in the organizations you tend to meet a lot of people and you just know from the visual, from the face, right? But we really never spoken to them. So I did that. So I just bring one coffee, and then, "Do you drink coffee?" And then he said, "My name is, I'm from this floor, And I did that even before I was in HR. I was an IT guy. I run a lot of delivery team. I just walk around and build that network, and I say, "Oh, okay, you're from the network. Oh, you're from the comms. Oh, you're from the project delivery. Oh, which product?" So we just become 5-10 minutes discussions, and then I go back to my desk. And at one point of time, I know maybe 90% of the people in the organizations. And you mentioned about 1,800 last time in DHL and 1,005 in India. So I know most of the people, and that really, really helps a lot in terms of getting things done. In relation to the external, I think external also help us to provide exposure, right? So to help us to learn diverse perspective. I learned from Ajit, I learned from Userin, different industry best practices. We met in a lot of forums, and we learned from a lot of other great leaders, a lot of other great companies, how they apply the best practices. That gives us a wider point of view, and hopefully that definitely can bring widen our perspective as well, how then we can bring that back to contribute to our organizations.
Mm, that's great. I like how you connect networking is about getting things done, and how you actually find connectors, like bringing a coffee over to someone else. It's like if they like coffee and you like coffee, it's like connection straight away. It's something
Yeah,
to talk
yeah.
about.
The
So,
other thing that I did not here, because we don't have canteen here. Last time in the previous company, I have a canteen, right? So I put it as a challenge to my team at that time. Our team is that every morning Malaysia in Malaysia we love breakfast, right?
mhm.
All the food, nasi lemak and all. And my challenge to my team at that time is that every time you go for breakfast, you have to sit with someone that you don't know.
Mm.
It's easy, right? You just go and talk because it's all colleagues anyway. It's in the kitchen. So if everyone can do that, I mean, the reason why I'm sharing this, because there's a lot of colleagues, friends that I met always tell that, oh, it's difficult to build network, it's difficult to start a discussion. Nah, it's breakfast. You just go and sit and talk. It's about it.
Yeah, I so agree with you. I just see the some, I won't say all, maybe more the introverted generation. When they sit even with someone in front of them, they rather just go on their phone and sit quietly.
Mm, mm.
It's so important to open your mouth. Hi, how's your day? What's your energy level today? Of course not. How do you feel today? Oh, that's a nice breakfast. Something just casual. It's good to start a conversation, because networking some things get done for you when you need things done. So like you said, Sik Wang, you the 1,500 and 1,800 employees, and you know most of them. I will say wow, because when I deal with organizations, they are very huge, and I say, do you know that person? And they go, we're very big, we don't know everyone, although it's just a HR department and they're very huge. Yeah, so wow, I really, hats off to you, man, isn't it, Ajit?
Yeah, I think it's well said and spot on. Agreed, agreed. Okay, we have hello from Rajinder. Thank you for joining us, busy man.
Busy man. Yeah, very busy man.
Thanks,
Checking
Rajendra.
checking whether Shireen is sitting quietly and doing HRTV probably.
Yeah, doing your work or not? Mm.
I know I'm being checked on. All right.
We better behave. Actually. We better behave.
Yeah, I better behave. Okay. Sik Wang, what realistic
Hmm.
strategies can leaders use to manage and influence senior management effectively?
Difficult questions, right?
Oh,
Bribe them with nasi lemak. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll try that.
Yeah, I think again, throughout my personal journey, I learned as well that first thing that I learned is that the senior management, C-suite, C-level, whatever we call it, right? They most of the time operates at a different altitude, right? They concern about strategic direction, stakeholders management. They talk about resource allocations. It's not so much about whether this project is completed, whether this task is completed. So I think the realistic strategy or approach, rather than calling it strategy or approach, is to understand that our job is to translate our team work into a language that resonates at that level. I think that would be the first strategy. We have to be always understand that they work in different multitude. For example, instead of saying that, again, in IT industry, instead of saying that, oh, that bug is fixed,
Mm.
we should try to speak about, oh, the work that stabilized the product reduced the business impact by 20%, and that fits to our regional goal, for example, something like that. So it's the same message, but when we talk about the bug has been fixed, I mean, it does not give that business impact view, which potentially be overlooked by the senior management, right? So that would be the first thing. Don't bring problem without proposed solutions. I think that's common sense at every level, but it's very critical to remember that when we speak with the senior management, right, always frame our request in terms of organizational needs, not just the team or department, but always think from a perspective of organizational level. um, I think that would be the two key strategies or approach that I would recommend always.
Mm.
Great. I think that's
Yeah.
very well said. Very, very well said. Okay. Fantastic. It's about translating what we want into business lingo so that leadership understands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the
And
others,
don't bring problems only without solutions. I really like that because
yeah, don't
solutions
give
are
me problems.
important.
Come with solutions. Perfect.
Yeah, correct.
For the others, the audience who are listening to, do you can also post a questions or a comment. If you have any comment, feel free to put a comment as well. Okay, this now brings us to a more interesting section. We're now going to talk about identifying and developing leadership potential for 2026, making sure that people are ready. So, Sik Wang, here I come with my first question. Do labels like natural born leader holds any weight? How can organization identify leadership potential beyond stereotyping?
Oh, we need to bring Lawrence organizational development here. So we can look at the previous series. I think natural born leaders. There's always a question that leaders are born or built, right? For me personally, natural born leader is the one of the most damaging misconceptions in talent development. I personally don't believe that leaders are built. I think, again, if I look at, if you talk about data, right? According to Malaysia employability, if I remember right, research, leadership ranks number 3 or number 4, right? Below skills, digital literacy, critical thinking, and communication are number 4. Then, right? So, but the fact that it's listed there, it means it's a skill. It means it can be developed. It's not related to innate trait directly, right? Um, yeah, that would be my take on that, right? And the questions about how can organizations identify leadership potential, um, we can adopt many competency based assessment framework. I think that would be something that I really recommend. We should go and adopt competency based assessment framework that look beyond the surface level of characteristics. The 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 problem that we have, I think I mentioned it earlier, is that a lot of times when we select leaders, we fall into a trap that we nominate stars. Leaders like to nominate their stars, the high performers, but sometimes they lack of leadership potentials, right? The high performance doesn't mean equally a great leader. So having that competency based assessment, having a regular review of the leadership assessment, identifying the critical, we start normally with identifying the critical role. And then from there, then we then create a pathway to identify who are the people within that role, and then evaluate what kind of skills that's expected for the role, especially for the leadership perspective, and then build that competency-based approach. I think that would be we can have a separate sessions how to build that, right? But
Yeah.
competency-based is something that helps the organization to make sure that we can build the leadership properly.
Agreed, agreed. Not just jump the gun, but make sure that that it's done proper. You assess people, where their levels are. Again, not all is going to be the same basket. Some may be stronger in certain areas, so groom them in that area. Well said, well said. I think that should be that should be a approach, and it must be some kind of structure which works for your business. Very
Yeah.
good. Okay, having said that, I want to move on to our next question. Can you explain, there are many type of leadership traits out there, like strength based, servant leadership, transformational leadership, and things like that. All these things. Okay, so how can a leader choose the right styles for their team, or that respective situation that they are facing? What would be your quick tips from your years of experience? How could you pick one? How should they use it?
There is no one best leadership style, right? We have strength based, you have, so you mentioned servant leadership, I think, and then you mentioned we have situational leadership, we have
Yeah.
whatever book that you buy, there's a different type of leadership approach, right? I don't think there is a one right approach. I think it's depend on the context of the situations, and we can apply what approach is that. For example, if I take strength based leadership, which works focusing a lot more on the strength of the individuals, right? And this normally work best in the creative industry. Then we can use and apply a lot more strength-based leadership when it comes to creative industry or professional services, where situations requires innovations, where diverse perspective can drive more values, right? Then we can apply servant leadership. I think I'm more into servant leadership because I'm managing change now, so I apply a lot more. I believe servant leadership is more powerful when we manage change, when we need a lot more empathy, we need a lot more care, building trust to build the community towards the change curve, right? So that's when we apply the servant leadership. What works best, again, personal view, humble opinion, is try to find the way we can integrate that multiple styles.
Yeah.
We should not be just stick to one style to be the success to build successful organizations. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well said. I think that's the best. Know a few styles, use it when you need it. It's never one. Agreed. I think very
Correct,
good.
correct. Those are very, very powerful points, I will say, that Sik Wang has been sharing. So let's absorb that and let's move on to the next segment also, because I looked at the time, I was like, whoa, you say so sad we have reached our last episode. Don't worry, next year is coming. Winter is coming. I mean, no, next year is coming.
Winter is coming.
Winter. Storm is coming. Tornado is coming. No winter here.
Already passed. Tornado already passed.
God,
No,
finish.
no coming
Don't
anymore.
want it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sik Wang,
Yes.
let me ask you another question. What steps should organization take to initiate a successful succession planning?
I think I mentioned that just now a little bit. Thanks for the questions. I think first is identifying the critical role and positions that our organization cannot function without. Which suits that must be there, which key technical expert role must be there, which function that must be there, right? And then second, after we know which one, at minimal, this function must be there. This is our critical functions. Develop the, again, competency framework for the critical roles so that we can build the pipeline of successions, what is success looks like beyond the current leader that's holding that role. So what is the success looks like for that particular critical role for the next 5 years, for example, and we start creating that multi-disciplinary team involvement as well, and build that objective so that they can slowly, whoever that in the pipeline, part of the team or the future leaders can continuously shifted their mindset that is not to replicate the current leaders, but is focusing on the criticality of the role and what success look like in the future for that particular role. There's many tools that normally that we can use. I think the typical one is the 9-box grid between potential and performance, or performance first and potential, right? And then you can put the assessment criteria based on that tool as well, just to make sure that we have a visualization. We know where to put which box based on the potential and the performance for each individual and the role itself. I hope that makes a little bit more sense, because uh, um, to implement the structured talent reviews, to have the clear succession planning, I think it's a step by step, right? Coming
Yeah.
from the understanding the role, create the um, competency framework, and then having that regular review of the talent as well. That's very important, because we cannot just do once a year talent review, right? Especially with the AI technology expectation to have an uplift skill. 1 year is already too late. The skills change already. So
Mm,
having that regular review is also very important.
yeah. And reviewing what is ahead in 5 years, or so what the skills needed in 5 years time too. Yeah, so that's great. I mean, using a tool that really can make you plan for your future too. One more question: how can leaders drive a high engagement culture that supports high performance in 2026? Since we are coming to the end of the year.
Oh, I need to quote the one of my favorite guy, the why. You know who is the guy? So Sinek, Mr. Sinek, right?
What
Oh,
is
The power of why, right? So high
why?
engagement culture start with purpose and psychology of safety. That's I strongly believe. So that starts with the compelling why. I think how to drive high engagement culture is always start with the purpose and the why. When we know the why, when especially again coming back to the landscape that we're looking at in Malaysia and the world, that uh, AI second how we behave, AI second how the work being defined, AI is changing the role profile that the team and I in access is not defining, reviewing every roles and change every role how it what it means with the AI involvement, because we are really into AI in these organizations. So but having that why is very important to build that, and then from there, um, create rich recognition rich environment that celebrate enhancements regularly and meaningfully as well. So that will be the other part, and I think finally we also need to make sure that we develop leaders at all levels who can coach and enable their team, not just focusing on the task. Back to the early discussion that we have just now.
agreed, agreed, agreed. Wonderfully said, wonderfully said. It's about the why, knowing the why,
Yeah.
why we want to do it. And no one says better than Simon Sinek. Have a purpose, have a why, talk to people, get them engaged, be in their heart.
Yeah.
Then you will be able to go further. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful discussions. I like today's topic. We are talking a lot of things which is needed for next year. This is giving all people leaders start to start thinking of how they could make next year a better year for the organization. It is really, really, really coming to 2 p.m. already, meaning that we're coming to an
Fast.
end of our show, and that is really, really quite fast today. Okay, anyway,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sik Wang, for the insights and and for the knowledge sharing and eye-opening perspective. And this brings us to our discussion, to the end of our discussion today, and it's the end of our serious discussions that we okay. We would like to thank you, and if you found this session helpful, type thank you and appreciate our speaker today. For all our listeners, we want to hear some response from you guys. Okay, and is there any way else that if they want to be in touch with you, they want to keep in touch with you? Is there any way that they can contact you or connect with you? For
Of course, you can always find me in LinkedIn. Very happy to connect, of course.
Okay, wonderful.
Mm.
We are
That
sharing your LinkedIn ID in
idea
the
at the
description
bottom.
now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so don't forget to join Sik Wang on LinkedIn, and remember to also follow Compass Mind on LinkedIn for more HR insights and upcoming HR season. And that wraps up for today for season 5. Make sure you stay tuned for what's coming next year, because we have a wonderful lineup for you. So we'll see you in the next season. Until then, stay inspired, stay empowered, and we'll catch you very soon on HRTV.
Thank you
Bye.
again, Compass Mind, Serene, Ajit. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank
Thank
you, Sik
you.
Wang. Bye.